Nobody wants to get united. Like, what we gotta do is meet everybody on 149th Street at the bench.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we'll be answering questions you guys asked over my community page about general art and graffiti, advice, tips, and things you're not quite sure about.
Any tips on finding your own personal style in art in general?
This is actually something I talk about in length in a ton of videos. Style is just the exaggeration of the fundamentals. When I say fundamentals, I'm talking about 3 different categories which house different things. You have the elements of art, you have the art from specific fundamentals, which is another category, and then you have technique, which is the 3rd category. You have to learn these 3 categories, and then you can add style, because all style is the exaggeration of these 3 categories. For example, you can have 2 animes, right? Same art from specific fundamentals, same elements of art, but the way one person draws Goku versus the way someone else draws Goku may be different just because the way they do a certain technique with the pen when they draw. Maybe it's different because there's slight changes in anatomy. They exaggerated this, they exaggerated that. This is how you add style. This is all style is, which is why fundamentals are so important and why everyone needs to learn them. People always say,
oh, you know, if you just practice, you'll find your style. Oh man, if you just let it come from your heart, you'll find style.
And that's all artists who either A, are pandering, or B, have no idea how to teach, or C, don't know what style is and how to actually find it. And as a result, they should not be teaching you how to find style, because they don't know how to find it. And it's not one of those, oh, this is easier said than done, because drawing cubes isn't hard. Once again, the hard part is having the discipline to do it.
What kind of exercises should you do to practice
the fundamentals of art? Oh my gosh, I had a hiccup in the middle of that sentence. Which this question ties into Misty's question, some kind of basics to art. So fundamentals of art, right? You have the elements of art, line, shape, form, value, space, color, texture, and then you have art from specific fundamentals. For example, if you're doing a character of some kind, you might need to follow anatomy. Now, anatomy is not an element of art, but it is an art form specific fundamental. So some basic practice you can do, you can practice each one of the elements of art going down the list. You have line, you draw lines. First you do it with your fingers, you do it with your wrist, you do it with your elbow, and then you do it with your shoulder. And you practice getting nice clean lines with each one of those joints. Shape, you know, you draw your basic shapes, you understand how they work in space and how they recede into perspective. Form is very much the same way. Value, you learn how to shade things realistically, and so on and so forth. Basic practices. For art from specific fundamentals, there's way too many to list off, so like, you know, something like anatomy, you would just practice anatomy, you would learn more about the muscles, you'd learn more about the bones, you'd learn more about the thing that is the fundamental. Whether it's atmospheric perspective, whether it's anatomy, whether it's expression, gesture, that's how you practice those sort of things. Next question comes to us from Trek and Rancid. And they say, is there a difference between graffiti and typography? I'd really like to hear your thoughts on this. And the answer is yes. For anybody who doesn't know, art forms are dictated by their fundamental set. Every single art form has one. There's a difference between print, font, and calligraphy. There's a difference between calligraphy and script, and there's a difference between script, calligraphy, and print font versus graffiti. Although graffiti does use some of these other art forms, the way it uses it is slightly different. And it's this fundamental change that gives graffiti its own fundamental set that then makes it its own art form. For example, the fact that your cap height, mean line, and baseline don't quite work the same in graffiti as they do in other art forms. There's slight differences. So it's little things like this that change graffiti's fundamental set, as a result make its own art form. Amrock asks, probably been explained a number of times, but facial features such as eyes, nose, mouth, different angles of them, why are they so hard to draw when we see faces every day? And that's exactly why they're hard to draw. You gotta understand, we see this every day. We know what it looks like on a subconscious level. So when someone draws it incorrectly, you immediately pick up on it. You immediately recognize the mistakes and you immediately point them out to yourself subconsciously. Or if it's really bad, you point them out very consciously. The point being, it's all stuff we're so familiar with and it's stuff we recognize, but it's not stuff we understand. And that's what's hard about it. Understand, your ability to draw something is largely dictated by how much you understand that thing. The more you know about eyes and how they work, the better you can draw them. So it stands to reason, if we learn the elements of art and we also learn about the subject matter, in this case a nose, a mouth, you know, ears, eyes, whatever the case is, the more we learn about the subject matter and the elements of art, the better we can draw those things. For real, explain tangents. This is a video I've needed to make for God knows how long. And tangents, there's a whole bunch of them. There's way too many to cover in this video, which is what I always say. Oh no! I gotta make this video, I really do. Tangents essentially describe the relationship between two lines or one object with another object. And this relationship results in a negative effect, making your work either look flatter or making the work conflict with itself. That short end is what a tangent is. I'll go over in much more detail in a video. I promise. I'll include it in my tutorial series. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I wanted to like connect with you guys on a different level and answer some of your questions directly. And this is something I want to do more of. Something I've done here for a while is I've been very community driven. So if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'm always in the comments. I'm always trying to get back to people. So feel free to leave those comments down below. I just ask we don't get into the illegal stuff because we do have, you know, we do have some people who are a little bit younger. Although my audience tends to range from 18 to 34. I do have those who are younger, and I actually care about my fan base. Who would have thought? That's a crazy idea in 2019. I don't want to help harm your guys' life. So let's keep it legal. You can ask me whatever it is you want in the comments, and I will do my best in order to help you guys out. And this goes for all art forms. It doesn't have to just be graffiti. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit the like button. It greatly helps out. For those of you guys who are new here, my name is John Grimm. We come out with weekly art videos. You're gonna learn something here on this channel. It's good stuff. Become part of the family by subscribing. And hit that notification bell. And make sure that you get my videos in your sub box. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time, but until then, peace.